biggest online commerce company, Alibaba, went public last week, making it one of the most valuable tech companies in the world, with investors jumping at a chance to get a piece of it.
Try to give more Hong Kong small business opportunities.
Alibaba has hundreds of millions of users and it dominates 80% of China's online shopping market. Transactions on its online sites amounted to $240 billion last year, more than those of eBay and Amazon combined. China is the world's fastest growing e-commerce market, and Alibaba is one of the most significant examples of the tremendous growth of China's economy. Experts say it is only a matter of time until it overtakes the United States and becomes the world's top economic power. Our focus this week is on China. Hello and welcome to A Focus on China. Alibaba's huge IPO came as no surprise to the Chinese people. It was very likely to happen to a nation which is a total smartphone addict. To discuss this matter, we would like to say hello to our I-24 news correspondent from Beijing, Nofrat Porat. Hi Nofrat, it seems that nowadays everybody has a smartphone, but the Chinese really did take it one step forward. So what's driving this market there?
What drives the market is price, of course. Currently, you can buy a mobile phone that is a smartphone for about $200. And they believe that within a year, the price even may drop to $100. That means that more and more people are actually buying phones. And with that, they have access to the world of online buying. It's the first time for some of them to actually go on the internet. And here in China, there's about 100% of penetration rate of mobile phones, and the majority of them are smartphones. So people are now going on the internet and actually buying products that are good for them and that they couldn't get around, and they actually are delivered to their door.
Alibaba is based on online sales. So what kind of purchases do the Chinese make through their cell phones?
From products that they actually need for day-to-day living that will be delivered to their houses, to fresh oysters from New Zealand, cars, property, clothes, or the latest bag. Anything you can think about, they will want to buy. And no wonder that Alibaba is actually a star here, because with $70 billion profit on mobile sales alone, it is leading the market in that. But of course, there's other companies that want in on the money, and they're developing different apps that will actually work easier and friendlier on the mobile phone. One of them is WeChat. WeChat is a little bit like what you know as WhatsApp, but it also has two other functions. One, like a Facebook page, because Facebook is illegal here in China. So on that page, you can see pictures of your friends or their notes, and they also have an electronic wallet. And with that, you put in your details, and you can actually buy via WhatsApp on the wallet. You can book a restaurant. You can go to the restaurant and pay via this application. You can pay back a friend for a loan or invest money. You can do everything and use it like a proper wallet. That's why it's so special. So no wonder that more and more companies are actually moving towards online buying on mobile phones, because they see that this is actually where the market is going. They believe that by 2015, 25% of the online buying will be done from mobile phones.
And apparently the Chinese are so into their smartphones that a certain city even came up with a special sidewalk for it.
Yes. In this town, they decided that people are using their phones too much, and it's actually becoming a bit of it's a bit dangerous for people to walk in the street. So they have a lane that is dedicated for people that are using their mobile phones, that are texting while walking. And if you are using your mobile phone, texting, or buying the latest bag, you have to walk in that lane alone, so you don't cause any disturbance to traffic.
Oh, wow. China.
Only in China, Tal.
Nofrat, I cannot thank you through my cell phone, so words will have to do.
Thank you very much.
Nearly 20,000 Jews fled Europe to safety in Shanghai as a result of Nazi persecution during World War II. Earlier this month, the Shanghai Jewish Refugees Museum unveiled a memorial to this population, which includes a statue and a wall inscribed with 13,700 names of Jews known to have taken refuge in Shanghai. Joining us now from Shanghai is Dvir Bargal, an expert on Jewish heritage in China. Hi, Dvir. Thank you for joining us.
Ni hao, Tal, how are you?
And ni hao, I'm good. So Dvir, what made the museum recently put the spotlight on Jewish refugees?
Well, Shanghai has a remarkable foreign history. To the short time the city had hosted foreigners in the past, a lot of foreigners lived here, but to the most of it, to the people of China, the foreign history considered to be a humiliating history. Foreigners abused the Chinese people in the past, and the one foreign history that the Shanghai people or China's people appreciate and proud of is the Second World War with the Jewish refugees who came to Shanghai, and basically to the most of them they have served their life here. Now the Chinese authorities definitely known about the Jewish influence around the world. Jewish are good travelers, they like to learn, and with that the city now trying to focus in its Jewish past of the Second World War as a tourist attraction, and to tell the world how the Jews were saved in the city of Shanghai during that period.
And how difficult was it to gather the list of names for the wall? How accurate is the list?
Interestingly enough, and ironically enough, that particular list was made by the Japanese authorities that control Shanghai. In 1944, during the war, the Japanese basically confined in a particular neighborhood of Shanghai that is called the Hongkou district the Jewish refugees who arrived from Europe running away from the Nazis. Now, in 1944, the Japanese authorities demanded several Jewish young girls to basically go to the police headquarters and to type a census that was made about the foreigners who lived in that particular area. So first of all, the list was not only of the Jewish people, it was for all foreigners who lived in that part of town, poor foreigners to the most of them. And out of that, 13,700 names were, most of them were Jewish names. These are the names that on the wall. Now, this particular list that was typed by these young Jewish girls were taken right after the war. One of the refugees found it. He took it with himself to, back to Vienna. And about 15 years ago, several researchers from Germany who published a book that is called Exile Shanghai, they published this list coming in that book in a CD, as you can see here. And that book was published in Germany. It's sold in Germany in the last 15 years.
And is there still a Jewish community in Shanghai or Jewish-related sites?
Using the word still Jewish community is a bit of a mistake, I have to say. All the Jewish community that lived in Shanghai before the Communist Revolution of 1949 completely disappeared. So basically, more or less from the late 1950s to the late 1990s, Jewish people did not live in Shanghai. We do have a lot of Jewish life now in Shanghai. Not only myself, the cameraman behind the camera, the director of it. We're all Jewish people who live here today. And these are all newcomers who came to Shanghai within the last 15 years. And so there is a new Jewish life here in Shanghai, prosperous and growing very quickly. But the people who lived there before the Communist Revolution actually not in Shanghai anymore.
So tell us in general, how attractive is Shanghai for tourists?
China is fascinating the West, and with that Shanghai, the most modern and the most westernized city of China, definitely it's a big tourist attraction for tourists from all over the world. And with the recent years, I live here almost 13 years now. For the last 13 years, I only see a growing demand in the story of Shanghai as a part of China, but in particular the story of the Jews who live in Shanghai in the past.
Dvir, you have an interesting story. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you for having me with you.
And now, what else is going on in China?
China's National Offshore Oil Corp announced last week that it has discovered a deepwater gas field in the north part of the South China Sea. The gas well produces 56.5 million cubic feet of natural gas per day. It may, however, take a while before the field can be used for domestic gas production. The Chinese electronics company Xiaomi has tripled its smartphone shipments in China in the second quarter compared to 2013. Just 4 years after being founded, it has become the biggest vendor in the world's largest market, overtaking Samsung in sales volumes. Typhoon Kalmegi has made its way from the Philippines to China's southern Hainan province. Tens of thousands of people were evacuated and schools were closed ahead of the storm's arrival. More than 500 flights were also delayed. Authorities in the city of Baoshan in the south of China have killed almost 5,000 dogs after 5 people died of rabies. The individuals had all been bitten by dogs. The practice is actually common in China, but animal activists in the country call for using other methods like sterilization to keep dog numbers down. Chinese people may have a harder time watching their favorite foreign TV shows from now on. According to Beijing's new regulations, internet companies that offer TV shows from abroad must get a license in order to stream them. A disappointment for Chinese viewers, American shows like House of Cards and The Walking Dead have racked up tens of millions of views.
Despite all the excitement surrounding Alibaba's IPO, the company is likely to experience significant growing pains as it expands beyond China. In order to successfully become a global player, the company will need to adapt its business and investments to more competitive markets. Of course, the other side doing business with the Chinese will have to make some adaptations as well. And this is exactly the reason why we invited Cora Chiu to our studio today. Cora is a Chinese language teacher and an expert in Chinese culture. Hello, thank you so much for coming.
Hi.
Is there something special that we have to bear in mind while doing business with Chinese individuals or companies?
Well, first of all, when you meet someone, you shake hands. No kissing, no hugging.
Oh.
Kissing and hugging is only reserved for the privacy of a couple or very close friends. And when you meet someone, you can say 你好,很高兴认识你. If you speak a little bit Chinese, of course they will be very happy. Oh, you're not just here for the money.
Being polite.
Yeah,
right?
being polite. Oh, you're actually interested in my culture. And when you're giving something to someone, maybe your business card, or when someone is passing you something, remember to use both hands. Both hands.
So is there something that a businessman should rather not do or not say while negotiating with a Chinese counterpart?
Well, you should not interrupt when someone is speaking. Wait until they have finished.
Well, this is for all cultures, I guess, but
Yeah, I guess. Well, but it's especially important in Chinese culture.
Yes.
Because Chinese people consider self-centered people. Oh, if you're always about me, then I don't like you. I won't make business with you.
oh wow, it's pretty difficult for Mediterraneans, I would say, to do to make business with Chinese. And can you teach me a few words, by the way?
Yes, of course. Well, as I have said, you should not interrupt someone when they're speaking. But if you must, say
Right.
不好意思,
不好,
不好意思.
不好意思.
Yes,
It's
it
like,
means excuse me. Yes.
Oh, that's nice. And is there something I can say or do in order to impress a Chinese counterpart, or at least to increase the chances of getting good cooperation between us?
Well, always say 谢谢, thank you.
谢谢.
Yeah, because
谢谢.
gratitude is one of the greatest virtue of the Chinese culture.
谢谢.
谢谢.
Is there something special that I should wear, not wear? To a meeting, an official?
No, well, I guess if you want, you can wear the Chinese traditional costume.
But it's like being too extreme.
Well, that would be a good way to make a first impression.
All right, so let's practice our firm handshake again. Thank you so much, Cora, for coming
You're
to our
welcome.
studio today. And now, our next guest, Nitzan Peled, is probably one of the few people who can beat the Chinese strict internet regulations. Nitzan, what strange stories have you gathered for us this week?
Hi, Tal. Thank you. I'm sorry for bringing this up, but do you remember Gangnam Style?
Of course, I know how to dance it.
Oh, I'm sorry for you. The reason I'm asking is that while we no longer must suffer the sounds of this song, in China, they have their own Gangnam Style, driving them crazy. A song named Little Apple by a band named Chopsticks Brothers was released earlier this year and uploaded to Youku. Youku is the Chinese version of YouTube because the real YouTube is blocked in China.
Oh, true.
Anyway, this Little Apple song has an extremely catchy pop tune with a distinctive dance moves shown on the official video clip. And it caught fire on this Youku website with tens of millions of views and countless independent versions, just like what happened on YouTube with Gangnam Style.
Very interesting.
A couple of weeks ago, a Louisiana-based Chinese student uploaded his own version, showing how beautiful Louisiana is. And while on YouTube almost no one watched it, on Youku it had more than 500,000 views in just a few days.
I want to say that the dancing moves are even easier than the Gangnam Style.
Yeah, easier. Maybe that's what makes it more catchy. I don't know.
Exactly.
And if you think only students fell to this trend, here's a little surprise for you. The much feared Chinese army used this song on a recruitment campaign video.
Oh my God.
And yes, Chinese soldiers doing the little apple dance is included. Until next time, I'm expecting you to learn these moves.
Of course, and wear uniform. I just wanted to say that soldiering never looked so friendly before.
I'm happy for them.
Before we say goodbye, here's something you probably didn't know. The fortune cookie, as we know it today, is not Chinese at all. And if you don't believe me, try to Google it. All the results will end up leading you to California. Anyway, I'm still going to use this cookie. Well, it says, in 2 weeks, there will be a focus on a South American country. See you then.
你是我的小呀小苹果，怎么爱你都不嫌